You know why having the fear of God is crucial? Because it's the people that don't fear the Lord that are the most at risk for doing some of the most heinous crimes or just things overall. I'm going to read from Daniel chapter 7, verse 10. And it says, "A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousand thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened." And I think a lot of the times when we commit sins, when we do wrong things, or even when we might even do good things, we're not thinking that that's written down in heaven. Like the song I'm listening to right now says, "My record will be there." Literally. Listen.
I must meet each broken vow.
I must meet each broken vow
that I hold too lightly now.
that I hold too lightly now.
Every heartache I have caused, each sigh,
Every heartache I've caused, each sigh, each tear.
things that time cannot erase.
Things that time cannot erase.
I must meet them face.
I must meet them face to face.
When I stand before.
When I stand before the judgment bar.
Oh, my record will be there, be it pages dark or fair. When I stand before
People don't think that. I watched the news the other day, or yesterday, and there was a guy and he was accused of sexually assaulting 3 young ladies. And that has to be the most traumatic and terrible situation you can go through. And sadly, there's still even more crazier situations that you can go through. And my opinion on somebody who would do that, I'm gonna keep that to myself, because I might even sin by saying something about how I feel about somebody who could do that to somebody else. But I think if we really thought about the fact that God is writing down everything, whether good or bad, in a book, maybe we would think to ourselves to say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I know if I do something wrong and I feel convicted instantly right there, it's like I can't even do anything. If I'm at work or I made a mistake, or say, for example, I tell a lie and I don't even realize it, or I didn't mean to, or whatever the case might be, I have to run 5 minutes away and I have to say, Lord, forgive me. And sometimes even that I fail at. But I still always go back to it and say, Lord, forgive me. Think about it. One day the books are going to be open and every single thing. So that time when you looked at that young lady with lust, it's there. The time when somebody dropped that 50 and then you saw them drop it, but instead of picking it up and running to give it to them, you just took it, and then when you took it, you went and you bought weed with it, for example. I'm just throwing that out. It's written. So I think if we have a healthy fear of the Lord and we understand what sin is and how much God hates sin, and the fact that it's everything we do, whether good or bad, is written down, maybe we'd say, you know what, I was thinking of doing this or thinking of doing that, but you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. Because the very words that are in the Bible are going to be the words that are essentially going to testify against people on the day of judgment, because nobody's going to be able to say I didn't know or I couldn't or whatever the case might be. Just think about that. So the people that can go around and do all of these crazy things, you know, like their conscience, as the Bible said, really is seared. You know, nobody's perfect and we all make mistakes. We all sin. I make mistakes and I sin all the time. but I have to come to God and ask Him to forgive me. But for somebody to be able to do something that we would describe as, a heinous crime or something that is just beyond what a normal person would even think of, and they can do it and just go buy a cheeseburger like nothing happened, it's crazy. But we have to really, really keep that in our hearts at all times, that one day we're going to stand before the judgment bar. We're going to be standing there. Just picture it like a literal bar. And you can't say nothing. You can't recommend anybody. You can't recommend anything you did. You're just going to have to stand there. And your life is going to testify against you, because you're going to say, oh no, but it's written. It's written. It's just something to think about. Saints, be encouraged.